The always outspoken Montel Williams here to talk about all this and his plan to put the movie 12 Years a Slave in classrooms across America. One of my favourites. How many times have you been properly in love? I might even ask Montel Williams that while I'm at it. We'll begin with our big story. A big idea from Montel Williams, one that could end up in your child's classroom soon. Joining me now is Montel. Montel, I want to come to that in a moment, because you and I were just getting quite steamed up about what is happening in Arizona, also happening in Uganda, and the common theme being an apparent attempt to use religion to basically attack gay people.
How about use religion to justify hate? And that's the antithesis of religion, isn't it? Because religion is about love and about respecting others and about, respecting your fellow man and do unto others as they would do unto you. You look at the basic, root of almost every religion in the world is to treat others as you would expect to treat yourself. So therefore, how can you stand under a veil of God, a veil of love, and turn around and propagate such hate?
I mean, what I find extraordinary is a lot of Americans will look at what happened right now in Uganda, where the President Museveni has signed this anti-homosexuality bill. He said, the President, homosexuals are disgusting. He says the West shouldn't force its beliefs onto Ugandans and so on and so on. And there's understandable outrage from most Americans about this. And yet right here in Arizona is an attempt by lawmakers to do something that's not dissimilar, to empower businesses to say, if you're gay, I am legally entitled to discriminate against you.
Isn't it insane that earlier today, had you just walked around the streets in New York and listened to people who heard that press conference held by the President of Uganda, people were disgusted. Where's the same disgust from our own citizens about what's going on right here in our own country? Whether we like it or not, and I say it this way, those people in most of the businesses in Arizona, at least what I'm hearing from people now, and you hear the word on the internet, is that most people don't support this bill. So why is it being pushed? And the gentleman that was on earlier with Anderson Cooper,
my God. I mean,
this guy, are you kidding me?
One of the most bigoted, stupid people who has ever held any form of public office in the world.
And he's getting ready to run for governor. So well, what are you going to have happen down here if he gets elected? And I think some of the questions that Anderson had asked were very pertinent, because if I can say my religion, but my religious beliefs tell me that I don't like people with strange accents. You know what I mean? Because you might be speaking in tongues.
That could be quite popular, actually, Montel.
But you could be, right? But you could be speaking in tongues or something crazy. I don't know. And then that
any form of discrimination.
Any form of discrimination gives me the right to do so under the veil of religion. I think that's wrong.
You know, obviously, we're going to talk about 12 Years a Slave, one of the most powerful films I've seen for a long time. The link here, I guess, is that religion used to be used a lot to try and justify slavery, didn't it?
Are we getting ready to go back to that right now? We're going to use religion to justify whether you enslave a person with chains or you enslave them by not allowing them the rights that they have on this planet. Slavery is slavery. So now we're going to do this again. And what is to stop people from claiming that, let's go back to that old Cain and Abel story. Aren't they giving the mark of the devil? Brown people. I'm not supposed to like them. So therefore I can't serve them. I don't have to respect them, and we as a nation aren't outraged. That's the part about this that bugs me the most, is that where's the rest of American citizenry? Where are we? Where's the outrage?
Get angry, because it is offensive and it's happening right here in America. Let's watch a clip now from 12 Years a Slave, one of the hot tips to be the movie of the year at the Oscars, obviously next Sunday. Let's watch this.
You come here. Master, I said come here! I brought her back just like you. Come here! Master! Master! I got it just as instructed.
I mean, to me, this brought into vivid perspective slavery in a way I hadn't seen over any issue probably since Schindler's List did with the Holocaust. To me, it was that visceral, emotional, and yet so real. This happened. I want to play another clip before I come to you about what you're doing, because it's very pertinent. This is Lupita Nyong'o, obviously, who's up for Best Supporting Actress, terrific actress in the movie. This is what she said to me on the show about this subject.
I think this is a part in history that many of us take for granted. I studied slavery in school, but I never considered it on an emotional level. And I know many people have expressed that 12 Years a Slave kind of offers an opportunity to understand this time in history from an emotional level.
I mean, I completely agree, Montel, because I learned a lot watching that movie. I learned a lot about the history, the context, the reality, the emotions. Tell me what your plan is.
Which has been crazy, and this really wasn't just my plan. I mean, Steve McQueen, even Penguin, who released the books, had been already working on a curriculum to see if they could get
Steve McQueen, the 12 years of slave director. Yeah.
The director. So, you know, I'd spoken to them after a screening, and I said, you know, I was involved 23 years ago in helping to get the motion picture Glory distributed in high schools across the country.
I remember, yeah.
Across every school. And as a matter of fact, my face is on the tape of every one of those that went out to schools. And so I said, let me just give it a try. So I reached out to David Pickler, who is the president of the National School Board Association, got together with Fox Searchlight, and we have now, in the last 2.5 months, honestly did something that we thought was unprecedented. In 2.5 months, the National School Board has agreed to now distribute this motion picture, plus the book, plus a curriculum put together by Penguin to every high school across the country starting in September.
Brilliant. It's
going to be brilliant because, you know, in a way, and I'm not knocking any of the other choices. I saw Gravity. I thought it was one of the best movies I've ever seen. But 22 years from now, children don't need to see that movie in the high school library. This is a movie that they need to see. I
completely and utterly agree with you. I mean, we heard only this week 3 19-year-old white male freshmen from Georgia being expelled from their fraternity. They reportedly hung a noose and Confederate-themed flag over the statue of a black civil rights icon, James Meredith, the first black student to enroll at Ole Miss. I mean, when you hear something like that, it just makes your heart sink, doesn't it?
I do, but I'm also heartened by the fact that that school rallied behind all the students, and they wanted that hate removed from their school. And so, though this is one incident on Black History Month, if you go back 10 years ago, there were maybe 60 incidents during Black History Month. So we are making some changes. There's some things that are happening in this world and in this country that we don't actually report enough about, those that come up and step up to the plate to do something. I just wish more people would step up to the plate, have a voice when it comes to things like Arizona, and a voice like the students did in Mississippi to say enough hate is enough.
Good to talk to you, as always, Montel. We can't let you go without asking you that question, which I asked David Arquette, because he gave a fascinating answer coming up. It's actually a terrific interview in many ways. How many times out of interest have you been properly in love, Montel?
You know, when you go through it, you think you're properly in love probably almost every day of your life. It wasn't until I met someone who made me understand what love really meant that now I recognize that I've now finally fallen in love for the first time.
And what is the answer? What does it really mean?
The real answer is to love someone enough that you would make sure you would do anything for them first. And that's what I do for my wife, Tara. So when I met her, I think, though I may have thought I was in love many times before, I think I've properly learned what love is all about, and it's through her.
That's why I like the question. Montel?
Thank you, sir.
Great to see you. Come back again soon.